Nice.
Well. What do we have here? Inter Miami start their Leagues Cup defense, their title defense, in a really great fashion. 2-0 victory over Puebla. And we're off to the races, guys. How are we feeling?
I want to start off with saying, Suarez, I'm sorry for saying that you weren't hustling last match, because today you hustled, man. I saw him playing defense multiple times today. I don't know if you guys saw the same thing that I did, but I saw it today. He played, he hustled, man. I know I haven't seen the ratings. I saw the rating like halfway through the match, and he had a pretty decent rating. I saw him more in different places of the pitch than you normally see. So good for him. 2-0 win. Huh?
8.3 man of the match by rating.
There you go. Yeah, he got that score there at the end. So yeah, 2-0 win, man. I mean, we all predicted a win. We all thought Puebla was going to be good. We didn't expect CJ Dos Santos to start, so that kind of put a doubt in everyone's mind. But hey, he got a clean sheet. Who would have thunk it, right, David?
Me. I would have thunk it. 2-0. Dave Stradamus strikes again. We're so back, baby. Let's go. But yeah, I didn't think it was going to be 2-0. Once I heard that Dos Santos was starting, I even messaged you guys. I'm like, oh, man. Here we go. Like, what are we doing? It's such an important match. What are we doing? Like throwing Dos Santos in at this point, but we take it. We take that. I mean, again, Tata again. It's like lately everything he does is a stroke of genius. Tata out will be like way out of our thoughts by league end. It's amazing. Can't be mad.
Yep. I'm gonna screenshot what you said about Dos Santos and tag him on Instagram. That was disrespectful.
Screenshot what I said
on
our chat.
Yep.
I don't think that's. Don't do that. So yeah,
Julio, you good there?
Someone has to share that we're live to Twitter and to Reddit and to all these places. And while I'm over here doing all the busy work, why don't you guys do maybe like the intro? Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. Thank our Patreon sponsors. Do some.
Looks like you're doing it. You can keep on doing it.
You're so close.
No. By all means, bring it home. Finish sharing to the world that we're live, please.
Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. My name's David Batista. I'm your co-host along with my friends Julio and Chris. Jose is on vacation with his family. Thank you for stopping by. I would like to take this time to thank our chief Heron Heads, Matias, Chao, Abu, Ava, and Mari V. And all the other Heron Heads, thank you for supporting us. It's a big help for everything we do here. And yeah, 2-0 victory against Chris is telling me to make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the Discord and our merch store where we have fun stuff in there as well. So 2-0 victory against Puebla, the first leg of the Leagues Cup. Julio, what are your thoughts on me doing this little intro part?
That's all right. I've definitely heard worse. So by that standard, good job. So we started off really, really well. Matias Rojas with a really nice finish that, based on the angle he took it from, did not expect what happened to happen. He just smashed it near side and roofed it, and it was beautiful. Yeah, he takes that shot from there or from 30 yards out, and it's the same end result. Like, it's going to be in the back of the net. But I was kind of just caught off guard that he took it, but man, he struck it so well. And Inter Miami were kind of unlucky to only be up by 1 at halftime, because they had that other really good opportunity with like a threaded pass down the middle, and the ball bounces off the post from Gressel. I thought it was Robert Taylor because, classic Robert, almost Taylor. But Gressel
he had a good chance after. Suarez pushed it back to to Robert Taylor, and he had to like karate kick it in, but
Right.
it was a much more difficult shot. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. To your point, Inter Miami could have won this match by a lot more. They won by 2, which is still great. They kept a clean sheet, which is fantastic. Unbelievable that with Dos Santos starting, we were all terrified at the beginning, and to come out of that match with a clean sheet of all things is great. It's great. We had David Martinez make his debut in a starting role. Played fantastic. Was one of our best players for the whole match. So there's so many positives to take away from this match that I'm excited. We knew Puebla was going to be lesser opposition, so we expected to win this match. But the fashion in which we did so, I think that really emboldens me and really gives me a lot of confidence as we look ahead, because the next match will be against Tigres, which in all likelihood will determine the winner of this group and who gets to advance from the group into the knockout stages of the Leagues Cup. So I'm super happy with the performance. There's so many things we can talk about. So where do you guys want to sort of take it from after having already sort of spoken about the Rojas goal?
I think we should just touch on Martinez real quick before we get into the scoring and all that stuff. Our new player that just came in this week. Once again, we got another player that kind of just meshes well with the team. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they continue to do that. But every time a new player comes in, they mesh very well. He played 90 minutes today, and solid 90 minutes. He made some nice defensive stops. I don't know if you guys noticed, but his passing is so nice. He controls the ball really well. He gets the ball to where it needs to be. He's not he doesn't second guess it like let's say we've seen Toto do that creates these stupid turnovers. Very solid passing game that he brings to the back line that I saw. So kudos to him, man. He came into this team with not even a week of practice, and he plays like he did. I mean, I know Jose before was saying, how can you guys think someone new is going to be better than anyone we have? But we all said it, and he proved it tonight that, man, he's going to be a starting center back for this team if he continues to play like he played tonight, just on his first game.
And we saw it in the Discord. A lot of people were saying, oh, he's garbage, this and that. And I said it, I'm like, how many times have we heard that somebody we're buying is garbage? We said they said that about Rojas, they said it about Chelo, they said it about Freire especially, and these are all people who've been serviceable for us and have been upgrades as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe they weren't in the right situation, and that's when players get sold and things like that. And you have to try to keep improving your squad and look at the outcome here. Yep. As opposed to sitting on your hands, you bring somebody in, some new blood, some new energy, and what's the worst that can happen? You buy somebody who's a dud and you don't play him, or you can improve your squad. And in this case, at least with small sample size, one game, but 90 minutes with very little preparation, and he looked like he didn't skip a beat out there. And in fact, he was by far the best center back in the game. So yeah, I mean, right now, cautious optimism, but yeah, I think we have to give credit to the scouting staff of Inter Miami, because it looks like every time that they've made a move to bring somebody in, it's been the right move.
Yeah. Yep. So to the point, Chris, of his passing ability, he actually was 80 for 91, which obviously that led the team in passing, both completions and attempts, but pretty good for just literally joining the squad this week. I was shocked that he was named not only onto the active roster, but as a starter. But it paid off, man. It paid off. I was a little surprised by Toto's absence. Apparently he has a minor head injury, so we hope he has a speedy recovery and is available, because now with Martinez, you think about Martinez and Toto as the two center backs. You talk about Yannick Bright, who's being touted now as such a good, solid midfielder. That gives Busquets more freedom in the midfield. Redondo, like, we got some really good pieces that we can move around now that makes things really interesting. So I am over the moon with Martinez's debut.
Yeah, and to keep it on the defensive side, you mentioned him already, and I put up a comment about Yannick Bright. I mean, he's playing lights out on defense. He's a brick wall. No one could get around him. He challenges people. He doesn't make any dumb mistakes when he's challenging people. And we saw it today. The midfield was solid. They didn't let the back line really make any mistakes. They didn't let anything really go through very often, any bad counters or anything like that, and that helped with the clean sheet ultimately. So, and I think Yannick Bright right now is the anchor to the defensive side of the midfield. Obviously we got Redondo that drives up really well, and Rojas played really well today too. Obviously he scored a goal, but I think Yannick Bright really brings that anchor to the defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely, and on top of that, the energy that he brings. It's one thing to be sound defensively, but to be that sound defensively and not make any mistakes while playing with the intensity that he plays with is a huge upgrade. It's a huge upside to his availability. Like we said, when Messi comes on, there's a lot less running around. So having a player like that is a humongous compliment to having Messi out there. So this is really really good to have this new player really blossom for this late stretch.
Yeah, again, it's a testament to the scouting department. Talking about Bright, his defensive numbers: 12 of 18 ground duels won, one clearance, one block shot, one interception, 9 total tackles, and he was only dribbled past twice. That's like 3 or 4 straight matches that Yannick Bright is pun intended a bright spot on this squad, and he jumps off the screen. Like you can feel his presence, and that sometimes is so difficult for a midfielder to do, especially a defensive minded midfielder. But it really is like a destroyer out there, sort of on the pitch, and his defense led directly to the second goal.
Yep.
I believe he made the tackle, then passed it off to Gressel, who played another incredible pass to find Alba, who timed his run extremely well down the left, passed it, just squared it over to Suarez. And when Alba played that pass, I was like, oh no, he played it too hard and it's going to go too far. Suarez is never going to catch up to it. But I think Suarez had some smelling salts as he saw that ball coming across and saw the goal wide open. And he's like, I got to get to this one.
And he was hustling today, man. I'm telling you, he was hustling.
And he put it in the back of the net, and that's all she wrote. So yeah, Bright is incredible. There's so many good emerging trends that we're seeing in this Inter Miami squad that I'm telling you, man, like it imbues me with confidence heading into the latter part of the season and heading into the Leagues Cup competition. That makes me think maybe they can go after multiple pieces of hardware this season. So on the note of someone in chat mentioned that Chelo can't cross the ball to save his life. I thought that so many times because he kept trying to cross the ball from the right side and he kept bouncing off the defender that was right in front of him.
He stops. He whenever he does it, he stops and he gets ready to fire away. It's like he telegraphs what he's gonna do. So of course, every single time it gets blocked. He does a lot of things clunky.
I know we're
trying the last time he tried. Go.
No. Go ahead. The last one he tried to what?
I was saying that the last time he tried crossing it and it hit the defender. I was like, I screamed to him, just stop it. Just stop doing it. Because it's just inevitable.
I know we're trying to manage Ian Frey's minutes and preserve him as best as we can. But at what point do we say he's just flat out better and deserves the time over Chelo? Because while Chelo had a couple nice defensive plays, I think Frey is so much more well-rounded than Chelo is, and I feel like he brings way more dynamic play to the pitch. And God, I hope he stays healthy, but I feel like you got to give him the nod one of these.
He's better. He is better. He's a better player in basically all aspects right now than Chelo. I hope the ideal thing is Frey takes over that spot and never gives it up. And we use Chelo how we're currently using Noah Allen, that he can be the player to come off the bench for either wing or a center back in a pinch as well. That I think is a better use for Chelo, because Chelo, anytime he gets the ball in the attacking third, it's a dead play. I mean, yes, he had that goal that got called back, but why did it get called back? Because he has no awareness in the attack, and he was offside by a quarter mile. Julio, you said in the chat that it was close, and it was not. It was not close. It was not close at all.
It was less than a foot.
He was okay.
I thought it was pretty close when they showed the
Shaquille O'Neal's foot. It was a really really big margin that he was offside. It was not one that even had to go to VAR or anything like that. It was evident.
When they showed the line, it wasn't that
It was,
far
it
off.
was close. It was close.
It was pretty close. Yeah.
It was closer than he was closer to being onside than Alba was to being offside on the second goal. How about that?
Yeah.
And they checked the VAR on Suarez's goal, excuse me. But anyways, yeah, I think Frey is just leaps and bounds better than Chelo. I totally agree with your suggestion to Tata essentially of having Chelo play what Noah Allen sort of is now. And even if he substitutes in Chelo and just scoots Ian Frey into a center back position, I think that is a better route than starting Chelo and bringing Ian Frey in these cameo appearances. You know, I could never tell you where Chelo is even on the pitch during set pieces. Not that we had a ton of set pieces tonight, but like Ian Frey's a presence on corner kicks. We've seen him score multiple times. I think he just brings so much more. And tonight again was a testament to Chelo in the final third. Just really doesn't do anything.
Even his crosses, like we're making fun of Chelo for his crosses. Look at Frey's crosses. Great, Frey crosses the field perfectly. Like if he was a winger or something, it's amazing. It's really really beautiful to see a young defender play that way. So yeah, I mean, I agree with Joe. We're definitely gonna see Ian Frey as a starter when we play Tigres. He just brings so much more dynamism to this team that it doesn't make sense not to, unless there's some kind of knock that we're unaware of.
And I agree with Tony too. I think we'll probably see a lot of alternating right now, but don't be shocked if after the Leagues Cup, after all this congestion goes away, if Ray takes the reins at the right back position. They're probably easing him in. There's a lot of games going on right now between MLS, Leagues Cup, and he's just back from a few major injuries. But I wouldn't be surprised if he, maybe by the end of the Leagues Cup, but for sure by the end of the season, I see him as a starting running back. Right back. Thinking football. Thinking American football.
NCAA.
Yeah, man, that's all I have in my mind right now. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him at the end of the season as a starter.
So I didn't realize this, and I realized it while I was watching the game and sort of just looking around the Leagues Cup and what's going on. I think the schedule makers did us quite a bit of a favor by having us play this first match because Tigres play midweek against Puebla and then turn around and play us on the Saturday, a week from today. So they have a very short turnaround. It's Tigres. It's going to be a hard match. It's going to be in a neutral field that's probably going to favor Tigres to quite a big extent. But that has to be a slight positive for us. Dave's making faces, which is why I'm quickly defending it. But
I agree. It is a positive for us, but I mean, look what a walk in the park this was for us, and it was at home. So like I think Tigres, which is familiar with Puebla, they're probably gonna ragdoll them as well.
Oh, I'm talking about the match we play against. We play Tigres after they play Wednesday.
Right, I know, but they play against Puebla on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, but they still have to play.
I know, but I mean, it's not like it's a.
They're not going to be just like walking around, frolicking around. They still got to play. I mean, listen, I hope they take them easy and Puebla somehow beat them, and then we're on cloud nine. Like, forget about it.
If right, yeah, if Puebla wins, I mean, even if it's a tie, it would be not a tie. We found out clarification from our last episode.
Totally.
Yeah.
So there's no ties in Leagues Cup, and so goal differential doesn't really matter.
Remember last year we were making our predictions, and you predicted tie, and we're like, there are no ties. It's the same thing.
No, I predicted. No, you're wrong. It was right after the Leagues Cup, one of the MLS matches. I said it's going into penalties, and because we were so used to the Leagues Cup, we had a billion Leagues Cup matches, and they're like, you guys are like, no, there's no penalties here. We're back in MLS play. I'm like, oh crap, yeah. So, but yeah, so no ties, straight to a penalty shootout. Winner of a penalty shootout gets 2 points. Loser of a penalty shootout gets 1 point. So it makes it a little more interesting. Yeah, Joe, agreed. Tigres could probably play their B team and beat Puebla.
And if they play their B team, then their A team is going to be so rusty from not playing that it's also going to be a positive for us. How about that?
Either way, they're screwed over. Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't believe 2 teams progress from each group. So Tony just put in chat that 2 teams progress from each group. I don't believe that's true. The format of this tournament, since there's only 3 teams per group, there's only or there are 16 groups. So each group only one team advances, which is why it's so pivotal to try to take any advantage over Tigres. That's obviously going to be the matchup to watch. All jokes aside, but I did think it was good for us that Tigres play on Wednesday, regardless of how easy a matchup that might be for them. It's a match nonetheless, and they're going to have to worry about that match, game plan a little bit for that match, and we get to sit now and just Tata can tinker with his game plan directly for Tigres for a whole week.
Tony's doubling down that 2 teams advance.
Okay, well, I'm not going to look it up right now. I am fairly positive that only one team advances. So
check the bracket, Julio.
We're going to do this right now.
Let's check the bracket.
Okay, go. You guys talk amongst yourselves, and then I will go do some research and come back.
No, we're not going to sit here quietly until you check the bracket.
All right, we're not gonna do that. So yeah, let's talk about. We already mentioned it, but let's talk about Gressel a little bit. I think he deserves not a little bit. I think he deserves a lot of talk just because. Nolan Jensen agreeing 2 teams advanced. That's 2 versus 1 right now, Julio.
I think I'm just gonna leave because I think 2 teams do advance. I think I'm just gonna head out.
Good talking to you, Julio. Good night.
I think I'm gonna go play some NCAA.
But yeah, man, Gressel's been awesome lately, man. He started off rough with the season, and he just continues to show why Inter Miami got him. Honestly, at first I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe he just doesn't know how to play with Suarez and Messi, but Suarez is back now, and he's still playing lights out. Those crosses, those passes that he's making are just crisp and beautiful and on point, dropping dimes all over the pitch.
So you know what confused me? So let me tell you, 2 teams advance. Owning it. You know what confused me is that if you go and do the bracket challenge, you only start in the round of 16. My bad, everybody.
Unbelievable.
Good job, Julio.
Also follow at the Heron Heads for more great content. Listen, man, whatever. We got a lot going on around here, around these parts. We don't have Jose. There's no, comedic relief. So I got to just confuse everyone with what I'm saying. Also, now I feel so much better about playing Tigres. Yeah, basically they advanced. Unless if Puebla beat Tigres, and then we're in trouble. If Tigres beat Puebla, then it's a guaranteed advance.
So we're rooting for Tigres.
Go Tigres.
Yeah, but also let's beat Tigres because that would be nice. We would get the better
of course
on the second.
Yeah.
Once we get to the bracket. So yeah, Redondo was the lowest rated starter for Inter Miami. I didn't think he played too poorly, but he gave up the ball quite a bit. But I thought generally his play was pretty good.
I liked it. He had some fouls, but again, a lot of those fouls were kind of ticky-tack. I feel like the refs were a little soft with a lot of those calls, and I didn't have too much of an issue. And I know a few of those fouls happened that led to some dangerous free kick opportunities, which isn't great for his rating. And that's another testament to this team and Dos Santos, that even with the ball in some dangerous areas, we didn't really allow much of a scoring chance for these guys to really hurt us. So that's another testament to the squad. And I don't even know who to give kudos. Is it Tata? Is it just the team gelling and the system working? I don't know. I'm just thrilled that we're keep seeing positive steps in the defense, and it's so hard having a new player like David Martinez step in like this and not skipping a beat. But yeah, as far as Redondo, I mean, if he plays like that every match, I'm not mad. That even as poorly as he rated, that's good play in my opinion. He still played fine. Like, you're not going to lose many matches with Redondo's playing today being the worst on your team.
His rating was probably lower too because he got a few dumb fouls, honestly, that maybe shouldn't have happened. And I'm sure that drops a little bit as well because his play was okay. I didn't see anything horrible. He boxed people out like he normally does. He's just bigger than everybody on the pitch, so he just easily takes over everybody. So yeah, maybe the fouls did it. A few little turnovers here and there.
Yeah, there was only one play of his that I really didn't like, and it was I want to say it was right after a corner. It was like in the play ensuing the corner, and he sort of picked the ball out. It was kind of like a bit of a scramble, like Puebla was trying to clear it, and he took it down really nicely. And I thought he could just step into a long shot, and he just sort of tried to drive a pass into the box that got intercepted. I would love for him to just rip a long shot. I don't care if you put him in the last row, just go for it, man. Because I feel like he is skilled enough to just put it on frame with some sort of power behind it. Just have a crack at it, man.
But he doesn't want to be called Kovacic. Like I think that probably sits in the back of his mind.
He knows we'll come after him.
He knows I'm so quick.
Redondovic. But that was the only thing I didn't really like about his play. And yeah, there was a stretch there where they kept giving away these free kicks and dangerous opportunities. And some of them were legit. Some of them were definitely ticky-tack and very soft. But luckily, Puebla didn't capitalize on any of them. And around the 70th minute, I felt like the way I feel in most Inter Miami matches lately, where they start taking the foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and you feel like the whole match is going to be played in our half. But shortly after that was when we scored that second goal. And then it felt like we took control back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was a good 5-8 minute stretch there where you're like, oh God, the field just feels tilted and the ball's just sitting on one side. But yeah, like you said, we ended up getting that counter and the beautiful ball by Gressel. And yeah, after that, it must have been just deflating for Puebla. And I feel like they just didn't care anymore. They just said we're not I guess they parked the bus and they stopped wanting us to allow another goal. But other than that, you didn't feel like they were really forcing the ball in or trying to get any scoring chances off. So yeah, I mean, this was a very, very chill game to watch. We scored in the first 9 minutes. We could have scored 2-3 goals in the first 15 minutes, and it was a pleasant watching experience, at least on my end.
Hey, we won the possession battle and we won. Look at that. I mean, the first half was all
different competition from the MLS. Doesn't count.
That doesn't go on the spreadsheet.
Also, I thought David Ruiz actually was probably one of our more effective subs for the first time in a minute. I don't only played a short while, but he was making good, quick little passes, good decisions with the ball. That's all I need to see a little bit of improvement, because he's been really bad even in short spurts lately. So that was also just a little positive. Again, I know it's Puebla. I know it's a bad team from Liga MX currently, but that's good, man. Like, we need to see improvement from these players.
Yeah, I think Tata's trying to get him kind of back into the groove a little bit, because he was playing very poorly every time he came in, obviously after those red cards and all that craziness. But it seems like last match he brought him in as a sub later on. Today he brought him as a sub later on. So it seems like Tata's just easing him in. He's a solid player. When he's out there, he plays well for the most part. He's had his bad matches, his big mistakes, so we all know about. But if he could get back to that solid player form, and he's not a starter by any means, but he's a very, very good sub when he's playing his game. So hopefully just easing him in a little bit like that will get him back to that level, and he could just be a solid contributor that we need him to be. Honestly, he plays good defense. He passes the ball very well. He's not the best on attack. He's faster than most on the pitch for the most part. But still, we need him for his defense later in the game, especially when we're nursing a 1-0, 2-0 lead. So
you're talking about David Ruiz?
Yeah,
I agree that he's not a starter. He's also so young that you really don't need to be calling on somebody like that to be a major contributor. Yeah. I kind of like him more on attack than I do on defense, honestly. I think he has more of the skills offensively than he does defensively. He's young, so he does chase after the ball, so that's nice. But with the additions that we've added to this team, I feel like he's not necessary anymore. When we first started this season, yeah, he was looked at to play a bigger role, but we've added so many pieces to this club that really have made such a positive effect, combined with his poor play. I kind of understand why he's no longer really much used in the rotation. But yeah, I mean, you still want to develop him because he is very, very young. So that's one reason you're not going to cast him off, because he does have value. But I do see him. Honestly, I see him more as an offensive player. But I wanted to mention a comment from Mike V. He's like, I don't understand why these guys come in off the bench and immediately pick up yellows, and I agree. I think David Ruiz picked up a yellow, Luis Alfonso picked up a yellow, and it was just like one.
Just Alfonso.
Yeah,
You
just
sure it
Alfonso, I
wasn't
think.
Ruiz didn't pick up? I thought somebody else picked up a yellow too. Sure.
Cello picked up a late one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just see these yellows coming right off the bench, and it happens pretty often with these guys. If you
Actually,
pick a
Suarez
sub-
got a yellow. Suarez got a yellow for
Suarez
kicking the
yellow,
ball in the stands.
I knew for a fact that was
Yeah,
coming.
full descent.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, there he goes. And then I thought he was gonna pick up another yellow because he kept barking at the ref right after that. I'm like, oh, please.
I honestly think that's where a lot of these fouls from the other players stems from. It's this sort of like they think they can overextend the descent, sort of, and I think that's sort of seeped into the minds of some of the younger players because we see it from Toto, we see it from Alba and Suarez a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like these younger players are seeing that and they're like, yeah, to an extent, it is helpful to sort of speak out against the ref because it does change how they see and the things that they look for to an extent. But there's like a really fine line. And you also kind of got to earn that because it looks really bad when you're Leo Afonso, who you're still like a teenager and you're barking at the ref. And
Afonso's not a teenager.
Whatever, dude. The point remains you're still super young. You haven't earned it, and you can't be crossing that line. Like
my breaking point was when Noah Allen was doing that, and I'm like, relax. They can shoot you off into the moon, and no one's gonna blink an eye. But it's just it does rub off on them. And yeah, like you said, you have to earn it. Like when you have Luis Suarez barking at a ref, the ref doesn't want to like be embarrassed by quickly giving him a yellow, When some little schmuck is doing it, yeah, man, I'll give him a straight red. Get out of my face! Like, what are you thinking? But yeah, it's something that they have to earn, and at some point, you think that somebody's gonna talk to them. And the one who honestly drove me the most nuts about doing that was David Ruiz. And that's what contributed to the double yellows. I think there was just like a month period there where he was just, I don't know if he's going through something personally or something, but I feel like he lost his mind, and that led to him just being missing in action for a long time for us.
Yeah. So
Gomez. Someone asked where was Gomez today. Gomez was with the Olympic team.
Yeah,
he's had in the Olympics in Paris.
Assist on the game-winning goal against Israel, if I'm not mistaken. And then Kremaski had some game time for the U.S., which was really cool. They destroyed. Who did they play? New Zealand.
New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah. So they won 4-1, I think. So that was really nice. And then Edson Ascona, who doesn't play for Inter Miami, he plays for the other team that's like way out in Vegas or somewhere. But he captained the Dominican Republic team and then got a red card for kicking a player from the other team right in the family jewels. And that was not a good look. They were getting crushed. So that was against Spain, I believe. So they ended up getting beat. But yeah, a nice day for Inter Miami, a nice day for the players abroad. And now we fully look ahead to Tigres Leagues Cup. There's no midweek for us, which is really nice because the schedule will get congested again. So this is it's a good time to be a Inter Miami supporter right now. Despite not having Messi available to us, he was at the stadium rooting for the team, but we've navigated this absence really well, man, since Copa America, and then he got injured in the final, obviously, and another win. It's 8-1 in the last 9 matches for Inter Miami.
I think we're 9-4-2. I think they said in the broadcast without Messi, which is solid, man. Who would have expected that? The biggest thing was Messi's not playing. You guys are gonna lose. That was the only thing everyone was saying, proving them wrong completely.
Remember all the stats they would give every time Messi didn't play? How many games? Like we wouldn't have won. We didn't have any wins without Messi, and I don't know how many matches. And then he left, and I mean you don't want to be without him. But man, it's so promising that the club is still performing without him. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, last bit of news, it does seem like the deal for Diego Gomez is nearing the finish line. It seems like the terms are agreed upon. So more news should be coming out on that over the next coming days. So do follow us at the Heron Heads on all socials to just keep updated with those news. And I don't know, you guys want to talk about anything else? Chris, any last parting words here?
No, I was trying to see what everyone did in the Leagues Cup this weekend. But
I know
nothing.
LAFC got off to a good start last night.
Right, against Tijuana.
I don't really know.
Austin beat Pumas, which is an interesting one too. Wow, Orlando beat Montreal 4-1. That's shocking. What other Liga MX games? New England beat Mazatlan. Mexican team. San Jose is beating Chivas. So interesting. A lot of MLS teams going up on Liga MX teams today.
And there you go.
And yesterday.
Inter Miami adding to that trend. So thank you guys for joining us here on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. And we will be releasing a preview for the Tigres match on Wednesday. Dave will wear that hat for a little bit if you're lucky. So join us then. And until then, you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you.